Bad news. Jermell Charlo reportedly arrested yet again in his home state of Texas. This is, of course, after his loss to Canelo. Baby, you won, baby. I know that. That's what I'm here to talk about in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. This time, I bring you some unfortunate news. Bad news. 154-pound, former Undisputed, Jermell Charlo, it looks like he's been arrested. Now, the details are definitely sketchy. I don't have all the details. I will make a follow-up video, which is why you guys need to subscribe to the channel for all your boxing news so you don't miss a thing. But he was arrested, it looks like December 15th or December 16th. And the story is starting to make some traction, and they're saying it's due to assault. I don't know who he's allegedly assaulted. I don't know the details. But again, subscribe to my channel. I will follow up when more information becomes available. Now, this is not the first time Jermell nor his brother Jermall have been booked. They do have money, so usually in some of the things in the past, they've been released. So I'm sure he's been released by this point. But it's just unfortunate news because they're definitely talented fighters, Jermell, Jermall. And I'm not trying to lump them together because I know they're their own individual. But, you know, you keep seeing certain legal problems. And the other thing that's concerning here is Jermell Charlo, we haven't really heard or seen much since the loss to Canelo Alvarez. He fought Canelo Alvarez and, you know, had been calling him out. They even had like some leaked footage of him on All Access, and he was like, I can beat Canelo. He was insisting that he can get with Canelo and things like that. But ultimately, he couldn't. And they fought earlier this year. They built it as like this undisputed versus undisputed. And it definitely wasn't Jermell's night. He took a second pro loss. And I'm wondering how he's taking it now. You know, now that he's having some potential legal problems and things like that. Did the loss affect him? I know he's lost before to Tony Harrison. And I think the Canelo loss was a little bit different because just Canelo's a big, high profile name. So Canelo Alvarez, like you lose to him, it is a little bit different because Canelo has a lot of fans. So they might be on the comment section like Texan and tweeting away, calling you names and you said you could beat Canelo. And I just feel like when it's a high profile fighter like a Canelo or whatnot, you suffer a little bit more and you stand the chance to get taunted a bit more. So I'm curious if that was the case for Jermell Charlo, because he's been radio silent ever since that fight. Like we literally haven't seen him at other fights. His brother was at a fight. He was on the fight card, Andre Benavidez fight card. And he was like, man, tell my brother I love him, things like that. And although Jermell Charlo came to his fight, and this is the Canelo fight, although he came to his fight, Jermell didn't come to Jermall's comeback fight on that Benavidez Andre card where his brother was performing for the first time in maybe 2-3 years, where he had been out the ring dealing with his own personal demons. And this is a scene from the Canelo fight. So kind of curious and concerned as to what is exactly going on in Jermell's head in terms of, you know, embracing this loss, taking the loss. The other thing, me personally, I told you for the Canelo fight, I wasn't really excited about it like some people, because I think Canelo should be fighting other super middleweights. He's grown his body out. He's even fought as high as 175 twice. So for me, I always felt that Canelo Alvarez should have been fighting as the undisputed 168-pound champion, Andrades, who just moved up, but he let Benavidez do it. Namely, Benavidez was a big fight, still is a big fight. I think he should have been fighting those guys instead of bringing up a guy like Jermell Charlo, who was a respected guy at 154 pounds, but weight matters. I've always said that. I'm never going to not say that. You got to respect the sport of boxing, and the sport of boxing will respect you. Moving up in weight is really a process. It takes time. You got to acclimate. I mean, you could do whatever you want. You could just move up and do some foolish stuff like Kell Brook did, but it doesn't usually play out in your favor when you do that. You've seen what happened with Kell Brook. So basically, so realistically, you know, he moved up with Triple G. His career arguably was never the same. Now we have to see where Jermell's head is, because he lost to Canelo. No one's really heard from him. He's pretty charismatic, and normally he's outspoken. Now we don't really know. And I didn't really want to see the fight because he was coming off like the Castano performance. Hand got messed up and he had surgery. Hand got messed up. He couldn't fight Tim Tszyu. That was a big fight in the 54-pound division. And you went up and lost to a bigger man. You also took shots. Now you don't know. You don't know how the person's going to look, because I'm sure he got paid handsomely. And this is the choice that some fighters have to make, is like, yeah, you're going to fight Canelo, probably get a career high payday, but now your career is in a different spot than it needed to be, because you could have just fought Tim Tszyu in Vegas, in Australia. That would have been a respected win if you were able to beat him. And if you did, you would have solidified yourself and then just keep it trucking and keep it pushing. Now you lost to a bigger man. You're getting in trouble with the law, stuff like that. So me personally, I really just don't prefer it. Again, I'll get you guys caught up to speed when more information becomes available. But this ultimately is not a good look. I don't like when I see professional athletes, and the professional athletes, they're getting in trouble with the law and things like that, because boxing, it's just a sport you need to have discipline in. And we all know that. And if you can't discipline your actions, that's a version of it. You know, it's not just about running hills and sprints and running miles and stuff. Can you discipline your actions as a person? Your hands are registered weapons. So if you put hands on someone, or someone is accusing you and saying you've assaulted them, it's just bad news. And I don't like to see fighters parted from their money just by making poor choices and things like that. You made a choice, like, because I don't know who they're saying that he is assaulted at this point, but I'm sure it'll come out in due course. But the bottom line is, you just made all this money with Canelo. If it's somebody like outside of the family or somebody in the streets or something you got in a fight with, they might try to sue. And this is not how you want to enter a brand new year, 2024, and you enter it with baggage. I like Jermell Charlo's movement, you know, ringside with the lions and stuff, but you got to get that stuff sorted, because again, it's not a good look. The other thing I didn't like about the Canelo fight is, in fighting Canelo, he ended up getting stripped. He could have been undisputed, not had a second loss on his record, had a very good fight in dangerous options. He could have fought Brian Mendoza, but Tim Tszyu did it. And Tim Tszyu, you know, he's been doing his thing. Could have fought Tim Tszyu as mandatory and kept his belt and still been undisputed. But, you know, he took the Canelo payday. And then now he's, you know, getting in trouble with the law, been removed from the public eye. And that's another dangerous thing with boxing, is sometimes, I'm not saying you shouldn't disappear for a minute, because Wilder did it when he lost to Tyson Fury and stuff. It happens. But at the same time, if you're an active fighter, you already lost some time with the hand injury, where Jermell hurt his hand and he was out for, I think, almost a year before he came back to the Canelo fight. So you don't want to, ultimately, what I've seen in boxing, you don't want to disappear so much to the point where people like almost forget about you, because there's up and coming hot shots like Jaron Ennis, Bam Rodriguez, or whoever. You don't want people to kind of take your spot. Activity matters in the sport of boxing, and also for your skill set. You want to remain like at the top of your craft, have your ring IQ and your timing on point. Jermell Charlo, his brother, said that in his last fight, being out the ring, he did feel ring rust, stuff like that. So I'll keep you guys posted and let you know what exactly happened as more information comes out, but it is being stated, and you guys seen, it's not just being stated. I seen the booking paper, unless it's some kind of counterfeit, but it looks like he was booked on the 15th or 16th for assault charges. Subscribe to my channel, Best in the Business, for more of your boxing needs. Check out this next video that YouTube will recommend.